Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Subrata Sarkar. I'm a mechanical engineer working in manufacturing industry since last 22 years. Today I'm going to discuss a topic which is a very specialist part of the welding technology, that is underwater welding. Let's have some basic understanding about the welding process. Welding, most of you have seen in different domestically or in industry. This basically you need a power source for electrical energy, and you will have a ground cable, and you have another cable for electrode and the workpiece which you need to do the welding. And then there is a arc will be generated by the electrode to keep the specified gap between, you can see, between the job and this. The job means that is the work to be welded and the electrode tip. So when there is a gap, there is an arc will be, electrical arc will be generated, and the metal electrode got melted, and it started spraying the metals or melted the metal by in terms of drop or different modes, and deposited on the area where you want to do the welding. So this is basically welding. So this welding is is easy to do on the, this normal environment, like on ground actually, you can say. But today I'm going to discuss a different topic, the same welding, how it can be done inside the water actually. The typical welding jobs are like, like ships is a very huge job where the welding operation or activities is involved very much. The general fabrication industry for making machine structures and all these heavy structures, so welding is needed. And also this pressure vessel industry. So it's a major industries for welding. And I've learned a lot of welding in my one of my previous company when I was working in Germany. The name of the company was Welding GmbH. It is in the South Germany area. I worked there in 2006-7. There so today I'll share some of the tip of some knowledge on the special area of the welding which I learned there in Welding GmbH company. Welding is basically, metallic balloon expansion joints manufacturing company. So they used to do a lot of special welding on the pipelines, petrochemicals pipelines or undersea pipelines. They have got few special welder for doing this underwater welding. So I got the opportunity to learn some of the things which I'm going to share today. And at the time also, I was also did this, the qualified as a welding engineer from Poland through Welding GmbH, and later also I did the welding technologist from India. So this is a subject which is very much connected to my professional area, this welding technology. Now there are a lot of industrial application where this underwater welding is required, like where you need to repair a ship when the ship is moving on sea, or maybe repair of this submarine, or maybe these oil refinery structures which is grounded on the sea, so that needs to be repaired, and maybe new pipeline to be laid for oil and some other purpose through the sea, actually seabed. So then this underwater welding requirement is needed. You can see in this picture there's refinery structures obviously, and these are offshore structures also. So some welding is needed doing inside the water. Even in onshore project activities like laying of these pipelines inside the sea, so then also some welding is needed for doing inside the water. And special cases, as I said, in submarine also, sometimes if there is a damage on the outside surface, which is a very dangerous for the functioning, so they proactively they do it, the welding inside the water. And in normal ships also this requirement is always there. But now there are two types of welding in underwater. One is the wet welding, another is the dry welding. Wet welding, you can see in this picture, there is a bare pipe is bare and a welder is exposed, so the way is air environment, so this is a water environment. So this is rest of the process are very similar. You can see here on this picture is a well repairing of this or refinery structures. This inside the water, you can see in this picture people are doing this. Everything is very similar to doing welding on the outside of the water. But there is you can see in this schematic picture here, when some underwater welding requirement, need to do dry welding inside the water, then you have to put some equipment type of things, that is splitted into part, that grouted on the, actually mounted on the pipe to be welded, and then it is airtight sealed, then oil get pumped off from the system, then system is equivalent to a dry system. You can see in this picture, one of the picture, this is one of the real equipment doing this underwater welding, dry welding. This is actually the this modern equipment where people can be there inside of this box, and the system is like that. You are doing welding like in a room actually. So this is the inside of the underwater dry welding equipment system. So in dry welding there are there's advantages also, there are disadvantages also. In dry welding is welded is safe, but it's a very costly exercise. But in when wet welding, welder is not very safe. There is every possibility of accident, electrical shocks, the explosions, health hazard and life hazard is there. But equipment cost is very less or nominal. You can see. You can see this underwater wet welding helmet is a very complicated helmet actually. There's a lot of adjustment and instrumentations are there. It's very costly to 5 to 6 lakh cost cost of the helmet. And so after doing this, so if a person is a good welder, not necessarily he can do welding inside the water. There are a lot of different trainings and learnings are there. He's one of my friend in my this Woodson Man company. He was actually from Sri Lanka, so he was also one of the underwater welder. So this welder, first they be comfortable inside the water. So a lot of diving training is given to those special welder. Then they through part of the training program they are qualified, and then they are allowed to do welding inside the water. These electrodes are also different for underwater welding and this normal welding electrode. These are totally different specification and category. You can see here in this picture the welder is doing welding inside the water, and this is a test piece actually. They are making some test pieces inside the water. Then this test piece will come out and it will be checked in the laboratory to see the quality of the welding. Then this welder will be given this type of certificate. This is underwater welding certificate. And she was one of the welder in our previous company, for doing underwater fabrications actually. It's a very specialized area and highly paid job actually. So more than 10 times than as normal welder they are paid during this underwater welding activities. And risk and safety is concerned, underwater welding is not fully safe actually. There is, though we were using a lot of safety and protective equipment, but there is a possibility of electrical shock and explosion, some other complications also even after come out from this sea doing the welding. So in last 10-20 years there are a lot of welding automation has also reached to the inside the seabed. You can see in this picture there is a robot is already designed for doing underwater welding, and it is also already executed in many jobs. It can do this both underwater wet welding and dry welding by the robotics. So the human don't need to go inside the water for doing this, but it's a very costly exercise definitely. You can see here in this picture there is equipment is pulling down inside the water for doing this underwater welding. So all the rest of the activities can be controlled from the sea, sea bed. So I think if you find you will find this presentation or this topic is very special area of the welding. Hope it was interesting. Thank you very much for your attention.